Hi, thank you for coming back to be with me. We are getting into the financing of your business, and this is not the sales piece. This is not where you go and sell your product or service to your customers. This is really the underlying financing foundation that can both start, grow, and scale your business from the inside, because everybody's business needs funding. Right? Nobody can run a business with no funding at all. And hopefully your sales will cover your expenses and they will fund your growth. But in the beginning, especially if you're a new entrepreneur, you need to have a handle on the finances of it, because businesses are way more expensive than people think. Everyone might think, oh, I can just start this business. It's easy. I have internet and I have Wi-Fi and I have all of these things. It's so much more expensive than we think. So financing becomes a break point for many people. And if we just spend some time going through our finances, it actually might prevent some really big, devastating heartbreaks when we run out of money, right? Because we won't run out of money because we know about financing. So the first thing I want to talk about is, of course, when you set up the structure of your business, what does it cost to run your business? What do your products cost? What do your services cost you? Not the price you charge other people. What is the cost that you need to put into doing the thing? So I am filming this course, I am paying for this space, I am renting this equipment, I have got editing happening, I am paying for all of the things. That is not necessarily pushed onto anybody else. These are just the costs of doing this part of my business, right? So I want you to think about what are the costs for you to do your business. Now you can categorize this in two ways. One is an initial startup costs, right? So when you're setting up your business for the first time, you are going to need a computer. Most likely. You are going to need some inventory of products or services. You are going to need some marketing or advertising investment. Maybe you need a tablecloth for your farmer's market booth or a shade covering. Maybe you want to put your logo on the shade. Those are initial startup costs. You wouldn't buy those over and over. But then you do have ongoing costs. Right? So what are some of those ongoing costs? Well, they might be inventory, for example. They might be rent for your space. They might be salaries if you have employees or contractors. It could be your cell phone or your vehicle if your business requires you to drive. If you're a mobile groomer, then your operating costs ongoing would be the cost of your van and the water hookup and gas and maintenance and tires and all the things that go into having a mobile business. So separate out your costs in those two categories. And when you think of your business, think of cash flow as really being the money that goes in and out, in and out, in and out, right? So you have money coming in, clients are paying, money is going out, you have bills to pay, money is coming in, clients are paying, money is going out, you need to make another investment. So we need to capture what this cash flow looks like. And so there will be a form for this. And I want you just to list out for yourself where we are in the calendar. If we are in January when you're watching this, September, November, June, wherever you are, just start listing out some of your expenses that you know right off the bat that are recurring. And then if there have been any one-time payments, maybe if you have a mobile vet service that goes around in a van and the van had, the timing belt broke. You're not going to replace the timing belt every month, but this month might have been the timing belt. Next month might be a pop tire. Or maybe another month is the air conditioning filter isn't working and so you can't use air conditioning, for example, right? So you can have one-time fees and one-time expenses, but also ongoing expenses in the way that you run your business. And part of the way you know that is by managing your cash flow, looking at the past few months and saying, okay, where have I been paying out regularly and recurringly? From there, you know how much capital you need. So when you are starting a business, the recommended amount, I think, is 6 months. So the recommended amount right now is that you have 6 months of operating money to cover your cash flow needs in your business, plus you have 6 months of living expenses. So if you live by yourself and you rent an apartment and you have a car and you have a cat and you are part of a gym, calculate what it costs to live your life. What is your rent and your phone bill and your cable bill and your Netflix subscriptions and all of those things, your cat requirements, your car requirements, all those things. Know what it costs to be you in this world. Then do the same for your business. The recommendation is that you have 6 months of money to cover both of these things. If something catastrophic were to happen, like COVID-19, which we're in the middle of right now, then you would be able to cover your expenses versus living client by client, paycheck by paycheck, moment by moment, hoping somebody will pay you and have, be able to carry your business. So really building up a fund to finance yourself is super important, because there will be high periods, there will be droughts, and you need to keep your eye on your industry, your market, and your business to navigate the external storms that may happen that will definitely impact your business. Where can you get more funding? So most likely you have a combination of savings, loans from friends or family members. Maybe you got a loan from a bank or from a business. Maybe you have a mentor or an angel investor who invested in you, or maybe there's government funding. If you fit into certain categories of businesses, you might have government funding. Funding is foundational, right? You cannot start a business with hopes and dreams. You need to have a solid understanding of where your money can come from. But you also need to know where that money needs to go when it's time for that money to be returned. So will you be saving money from your client payments to put into a fund to repay the loan, right? Or are you just living, client by client, and you have no extra money and the loan will come due and you can't make a payment, right? You are going to be in deep trouble, deep trouble. So we don't want that. I want you to know when you borrow money or receive money, keep track of it and make sure that money that's coming in is allocated to go back to be paying for that. Because you don't want your business to go under in 8 months because you took a 6-month loan and you didn't have any money to pay it back, right? And there's no idea or there's no kind of infrastructure in your business to say, I'm getting close, I will have this money in 6 more months. Like if there's no hope on the horizon, then we didn't do your financing, kind of work deep enough at the very beginning of your business. And so now your business is in trouble. If that means your business does not launch for an extra 6 months because you need to save up more money, then that might be the responsible thing for you. It might be that your business is hitting hot right now and you need this business right now. That would decide this too. So take a look at your financing, go through the spreadsheets, and really dive in, be super honest. And I can't wait to talk to you about how we put this all together. Because yes, financing is very important, but it's a piece of many of the puzzle pieces come together to build your full business. And I can't wait to show you what the final product looks like. Your business in the next video. Talk to you soon.